Welcome back to the Motivating Force podcast. Thank you guys for joining us on this beautiful Wednesday morning. I'm Josue, and joining me as always is Justin. Today, it's a little bit different the way that I'm going to be doing this episode. Before I get into what the actual episode is about, I'm going to do kind of the same thing that Justin did in Monday's episode, where we kind of paint that picture of the reason why we're going to be talking about this. The reason behind this topic is really that the society we live in, we get so bombarded all the time with all this information, and we always store all this in our heads at all time, whether we're thinking about it or not. We get bombarded with positive information, negative information, good news, bad news, whatever the case may be. Our heads are constantly busy. It's always something going on in our head. It may not be a form of ADHD, but it's just a form of like sensory overload that our heads are just getting burnt out all the time. This causes unnecessary stress. This causes, the headaches everybody's getting nowadays. And no, it's not a COVID symptom. This is different.
Yeah, Pfizer can't help you with that one.
Funny. But this isn't a good space to be in when you're trying to minimize the stress and when you're trying to focus on bettering your mental health. When you're trying to live that structured lifestyle, you want your mental health to be good. You don't want to be stressed out over all the time. You don't want to be burnt out because you have all these different things going on in your head that may not even pertain to you. It's just you're getting all these different sources of information all day. And like I said, you may not even realize it, but we've accepted this in society so much that it's almost a shunned topic to talk about what this discussion is about. Like I said, I'll get into that in a second. But what I want you guys to do is really think about your day, right? Think about all the times that your head's really at peace. There's going to be few to none unless you're very well put together and you're able to compartmentalize all this stuff. And that's like an advanced level of self-help. But really, like the times that you aren't thinking about relationships, food, work, money, the kids, deadlines that you have to make for these goals that you have for yourself. It's really hard to think about a time that you're really at peace, right? But society has sustained this normalcy to this stress level. And almost like a rebuttal, is it that humanity, like it's in our DNA to be functioning at this level of stress at all time?
I mean, personally, I believe that. I mean, I think we've talked about this before a little bit, and I know they talked about it a lot on Joe Rogan, of course, and all these other bigger name podcasts, but we've always had like this sense of fear. Like we've been born into fear, right? We're worried about the lion coming to eat us. It's in our DNA. It's in our history, of course. And we've had these stresses about like, I don't know if I'll be here tomorrow. And of course we still should be living in that mindset because I mean, every day is a blessing that we're here. You wake up, you have a pulse. It's a good day, plain and simple. Right? I believe that. But when we talk about the evolutionary process, things like that, it's embedded in our DNA. We worry about the crops. We worry about the harvest. We worry about the predators out there that are going to kill us. We're worried about the other tribes, all these other things. And we're just getting to a point in our civilization now to where we don't have to worry about those things. So we put other fears in our head. And some argue it's just as big as a fear as the lion coming to eat you. We look at getting fired as the lion is going to come and kill you.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that. That's why I put it down that I understand our ancestors were always they're always scavenging for food. They're always trying to make ends meet for their family, for their civilization, whatever it means. And at the same time, they're always stressed about, that there might be the tiger or the lion around the corner trying to kill them. But the question is, now, like you said, we're at this point that we don't have to worry about that, but we also put all these other things that are at that level of stress, are at that level of fear, and we hold it to the same levels of why we have to maintain this normalcy of levels of stress in our lives. Because in reality, we're not looking for our next meal. We can go to McDonald's. We shouldn't,
Yeah.
But we can go down the street and get some sort of food if we don't have anything at home. We don't have to worry about oh, it's going to be so hard to like feed myself or my kids or whatever. That that should just be a fleeting thought. You shouldn't hold that in and let it weigh you down all the time. We're not fearing, the lion coming around the corner to eat us. So why are we so stressed all the time? The point of this whole conversation is that we shouldn't be, right? I understand that it is in our DNA, but there's ways to accommodate that for the times that we live in. And one of the recommendations that I have, it's a super simple one. It's meditation. Now, let me give you the Webster's Dictionary definition of what to meditate means, right? To engage in contemplation or reflection. Also, to engage in a mental exercise such as concentration on one's breathing or repetition of a mantra, right? Now, if you want to go back to the early 2000s and you want to say that this is wimpy or girly, right? Like that's something that only the hippies and the super spiritual do. Is that really the excuse you want to give? Like, give it a try. This is something super simple.
I mean, meditation is a scary word to a lot of different people for different reasons. And it is a shame that so many people throw it underneath the bus. And it is kind of funny in that way because there are religious people that meditate or practice forms of meditation. So, yeah, I mean, you look at the Catholics, right? When they say their Hail Marys and things like that. You look at the Muslims who pray with the beads. It's all about repetition and consistency. And why? It's a strategy to clear the mind.
Exactly.
And then you look at non-religious people who will do it for the sake of spirituality or the sake of clearing the mind.
Right.
And then everybody will have something negative to say about it, again, because it's hippie, it's girly, it's whatever, excuse you throw to not try it. But so many different people practice this in so many different ways, and so many great people practice this in so many different ways that there's really no reason not to try it.
Right.
And also, might I add, it is not designed to be a group activity. So if you want to sit here and say on the video, oh, that's a bunch of hippie superstitious crap, I'm never going to do that in my life. And then tonight you go and you kind of
look around.
And then you do it.
Yeah.
I won't blame you.
Yeah. But that's also another thing, and why I feel like it was important that we had that discussion a couple weeks ago about like kind of religion and spirituality and humanity, and why it is kind of important in civilization and as being individuals, just holding something accountable above you. And like you said with the Catholics or the Muslims, like when the Catholics do their Hail Marys, in all, that's just a mantra. You can call it a prayer, you can call it a mantra. It's pretty much the same thing. Just like all these different religions have different guidelines, but the message behind them all is pretty much the same thing, right? So why sit there and judge them if you're not going to try it? And like you said, if you go home, you try it, we don't blame you. We're not going to judge you. We're encouraging this, actually. But meditation is super simple. If you don't want to spend an hour or two, you think this is some long process, just take 5 to 10 minutes out of your day. Do it while, you're taking a shower. Do it while you just are, before you go to bed. You're getting ready for bed, you're laying there, you have all these different things going through your head, or as soon as you wake up. Even when you're sitting in the car, you're waiting to go inside the grocery store, just sit there, right? Super simple, like I said, 5 to 10 minutes out of your time. Just sit there, just breathe, relax. Really focus on clearing your head, because the whole point is that mental health. We're trying to detox all that negativity and all that cluster going on of all this positive, negative information that's, bouncing around in your head. Take that time. Really focus in on the moment. Just be present. That's all it takes. It's not like you have to sit there and know this whole like mantra that's a page long and try to memorize that to recite it. No, just sit there and focus on your breathing. That's all it takes. It's super simple.
It is really simple. And I think a way that, for me, like personally, the way that I use this, if people are still kind of wondering like, well, how is this going to really benefit me to kind of clear that space, let me give you a practical application of just 5 to 10 minutes of meditation. And the way that I use it sometimes is we all, like, you can't deny this. We all have bad days at work.
100%.
Right? You can't deny that.
Yeah.
And when I come home at night and I park my car in the driveway and I sit there and I'm like, man, today was just absolute garbage. I'm in the worst mood. I feel like crap. And I know that I'm risking bringing that into my home. And now, if you live by yourself, same thing applies. Don't bring that energy into your house. Your house needs to be a calm environment, a peaceful environment, hands down, and more so when there's people living there.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to bring home the negative impressions that some douche gave me at work.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to bring that home and reflect that to my wife. Get home, park the car, shut it off, sit there, practice some breathing meditations, do some counting, whatever, right? Whatever I'm in the mood to practice that day. Do it 5-10 minutes, get out of the car, go inside with a clear mind, have a happy wife, have a happy house, have a calm house. That's what matters.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the importance of practicing meditation one way or another, even little itty bitty things that you could be doing just to be able to have that in your toolbox. Be able to do these little exercises here and there to help calm yourself down and help really change the environment around you.
I like that you gave that example too, because just like prayers being equivalent to mantras, right? It's just different verbiage. It's all the same thing. The people that are sitting there and judging this word meditation, seeing it as some girly thing or some wimpy thing, they're calling it just by a different name. They're going to sit there in their car, or they're going to sit there at work, they're going to walk outside. It's called taking a breather. Everybody's done that. That's meditation. We're just using a different word for it to help you feel more comfortable with it. Now, benefits, you ask? Well, I got you. So this is straight from Mayo Clinic's website. They have a handful of emotional benefits that you can get out of this. I'm going to go down the list for you. Gaining a new perspective on stressful situations. Exactly like you said, you had a tough day at work, you get home, clear your head. Now you're living a good, clear-minded household, lifestyle. You're not bringing in the problems from work into your house. You got another one, building skills to manage your stress. This is going to help you to clear that clutter that I was talking about. Increasing self-awareness, being present, focusing on the present.
Being present.
Being present times 2. Reducing negative emotions, increasing imagination and creativity. So this is also going to be beneficial into the last week's episode when trying to find your voice. If you're still struggling with that, or you're trying to find the courage to really put your voice out there in those creative means that we were talking about, meditation is going to help you grow that imagination and creativity. Also, increasing patience and tolerance. Like I said, with taking a breather. You're behind a counter and then you have a customer just complaining to you all the time. You're going to be able to just sit there, meditate, realize, hey, he's just reflecting his insecurities or his worries or just negative emotions that he's just dragging along with him throughout the day, and he's just trying to throw it on me so that I can rebuttal, right? This is going to help you with your patience so you can calm down and go about that interaction efficiently and correctly, so it doesn't evolve into something that it shouldn't.
Hey guys, so great for you to find the halfway point in this video. If you notice, things might have looked a little different. The good news is you get to experience the whole set in one take, which is great. We were having some difficulties with the second camera, which should be apparent, and it's an issue that is not immediately solvable. So at this point in time, I guess I hope you guys enjoy a single shot. Making best do with what we got. We're still always excited and motivated here at the show, so we are not going to leave you guys without content. This is just how it's going to be this episode, so let's continue on with the show.
Right. So the last thing I was saying was that it increases that patience and tolerance when you have those interactions, being able to be present in that moment, really stop yourself from engaging in ways that you shouldn't be engaging with people that are arguing or yelling at you when you're at work.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory too, because when we talk about the patience side of it, I mean, that's what meditation is. You're practicing your patience. And more so now because we do have so many more things that we're thinking about than, I guess, from an ancestral perspective, right?
Right.
Because we know what's going on the other side of the world. Whereas before, I mean, it wasn't a big deal. You worried about what's happening in your little community, and that's it. So we have this worldwide view nowadays, and so many more things are going through our head. I mean, we know what germs are. We know what global warming is. We know what pollution is. We know what these invisible things are, and they exist, and there's things about that.
Yeah.
So there's so many more things added to our mental space that when we take time to just wipe the slate clean, clear it all, we really are testing our patience and our minds being like, but there's all these things. And we're like, well, shut up.
Yeah.
Take a minute. Take a breather. Take a break. Be calm. Let's clean it out. And your brain's going to fight you on that. And that's the hard part about meditation. But that's what those characteristics that you gain and you build from practicing meditation.
Right. And on top of practicing meditation, this is something that has been going on for thousands of years. This has been practiced in hundreds of different civilizations and cultures in the evolutionary timeline. As human beings, people have always had different versions of meditations and different techniques. It's just up to you to give it a try and help your body clear up the stress that you undergo every day. The stresses of what you worry about subconsciously, the stresses about what you worry about on purpose, right? Because you have all these things going on. We just need you to stop judging the word, because it's really the action that's going to go a long way compared to just denying the exercise of clearing your head. Because, hey, the examples that we gave might not be the right technique that you need. Maybe it's another form of meditation, and there's hundreds. Like I said, you can Google different types of meditation. You can YouTube people showing you how to meditate, but it's super simple that it at least just takes 5 minutes of your day.
Yeah, I mean, spend some time looking into it because you will find something you'll enjoy. There's so many different varieties out there. Something will grab your interest, and I mean, just go with it. It's great for your health. It really is. And I mean, who doesn't want to take a break?
Yeah.
That's simply what we're offering you guys when we're trying to get you guys to practice something like this. We're offering you guys a break, a way out of your own mind for just a couple minutes a day. Why is that not something worth trying? I don't know. It is.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah, and when you're trying to achieve these different goals in your life, meditation does come in key. I put it that meditation is the key to success. Why? This is the entire point, right? Because when you're just focused on this one end goal, you're thinking there's only one path to get to it. But when you meditate, you have that change of perspective, that growth and imagination and creativity. You realize that there's other avenues to that same end goal. You don't have to live your entire life trying to achieve these goals and structured lifestyle with these horse blinders on from stress. All you have to do is just meditate a little bit. It'll help you take off those horse blinders and realize that you can get to the same result from different avenues.
Yeah, man. I mean, that is the most important part of that. Like we're saying, there's hundreds of ways to meditate. And again, there's hundreds of ways towards your success and what meditation is going to provide for you. You're going to be able to get a clear mind, which is going to help you get a clear picture of where you're at and where you're going. And when there's so many paths down the road of success, you're going to need that clear vision to make sure that you are on the path that you want to be on in life. And being on that clear path, as you can tell, I mean, we know what our path is, and sometimes that vision changes a little bit, as we can demonstrate right now. I promise you, it's almost like it was planned, but I guarantee you it was not.
Yeah,
guys?
I was gonna say it seemed like it was on purpose, but no, that changing of perspective wasn't on purpose.
Yeah.
But we should probably take credit for it anyway.
There you go. Took a little bit of a breather, trying to get stuff worked out. Wasn't working. We were able to meditate through it, come back to the subject. Here we are for you guys. But let's get you guys out of this vision and over towards a different vision, which would be Facebook. It would be Instagram and be Parler. It's all of our social medias that we have, all of our content on for you guys. We'd love to see you guys over there. We're super interactive with everybody, and we want you guys to participate in that. All those links are down below. Couldn't be any easier to find.
Yeah, and then if you go just a little bit lower, you can also comment on the video. You can leave your take on the change of perspectives that, was totally planned. You can go ahead and share the video with friends and family as well. Remember, all of our videos do come out Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 a.m. EST, and I promise you that the next video that comes out, we will have this technical difficulty solved.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but inside of that little description section underneath those social medias, you see some information about Vespertine, which is this wonderful merch that we both apparently rock today. The mugs, super handy. Shirts fit great. They feel great. I kind of worry about wearing this shirt everywhere because I know I use it for the set. I wear it here, and I don't want to get it messed up or dirty or something like that. And it's so hard not wearing this shirt every time it's clean.
I mean, guess what?
It's like my go-to shirt.
Guess what? We can always get more. Everybody else can always get more when they go to vespertine.com and they use our code TMF for 10% off.
Wow, man, that's like buy 10 shirts, get one free.
Oh, my goodness.
Come on.
Look
That's
at that.
Whole wardrobe right there, right? It's true, but, I know it's been a minute. Just giving some love out to Vespertine. He really believes in us and what we're trying to do here, and we appreciate that. We just want to send that love back to him. So definitely, browse the site. That's all we can ask from you guys. Otherwise, we do drop new videos every Monday and Wednesday at 8 a.m. EST. Be sure to check us out whenever you can.
And until next time, guys, don't get